I bought 3 random LEGO sets from LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising to see if LEGO Ninjago, my favorite LEGO theme, is still alive and kicking. Hello everyone, welcome to the Geekdom, the place where we outcasts come to talk about the things we love. And we are going to talk about Ninjago. We always talk about Ninjago. You know I love Ninjago. It has practically built this channel. Now we're going to be rating these sets in multiple ways. A, price. B, build quality. And C, my favorite thing, the minifigures. The sets we'll be taking a look at today are the Mask Shadow Dojo, Kai's Elemental Fire Mech, and Cole's Elemental Earth Mech. These 3 sets were chosen completely at random to get a wide range of what LEGO Ninjago currently has to offer. We're going to start off with the smallest of the bunch, being Cole's Elemental Earth Mech. Now this set is really cool. We see it a lot in the LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising TV series. Now these mechs are incredibly important in the show as they can shrink down and a ninja can wear them wherever they are. It's great for selling the sets, I'll tell you that, because when I was watching it, I was like, I want to get my hands on those mechs, so I'm super pleased that I've got them. However, I have heard some negatives, and plenty of them. So let's crack it open and find out. Okay, so here we have Cole's Elemental Earth Mech, which was a really, really fun build. It has around 235 pieces. And you know what? It's really cool. It's a little bit clunky in places, but it's hefty, it's good in your hands, and it does what it says on the tin, okay? It's a mech, Cole sits in there, and it looks just as it does in the show. So, as I said before, we're going to be rating these sets on 3 different qualities, okay? Build, price, and minifigures. We'll start with the minifigures for this one. Now, it comes with 2 minifigures. It comes with Cole in his Mech Rider suit. I think that's what they're called. It's like the Season 2 Dragons Rising suits. And it comes with one of the Wolf Mask Warriors. Now, I'm not sure how I feel. I really, really dig, on the majority, the Mech Rider suits, but I really hate this Cole. Now, Cole is my all-time favorite ninja. I love him to pieces, and I have so many Coles in my collection, but I just don't like it. I like the torso, and I like the leg printing, which is really nice, but I don't like the mask at all. I have come to terms with the new mask mold, but I don't like the sheer amount of orange on it. Now, I love it when Cole has an orange color scheme. I think it looks really nice and it blends well, but I think the mask, if it was inverted, it might look better. I just think there's something going on. There's too much orange here, and it's not gelling with me, and it's irritating me. But I like the style of the suit. I think the printing on the torso is really nice, and I like the Dragons Rising Cole expression. I like that we're starting to get more smiling expressions on the ninja, because at the end of the day, it's a kid's show. They're always quite happy. I also like the reverse side of his head with the sort of like visor print. I don't particularly put my minifigures with that on their masks because they don't actually have it in the show, but it's a cool addition nonetheless. Now, I really love these Wolf Mask Warriors. I think they look really, really great. The printing on the legs and on the torso is fantastic. It's standard across the board. They all have it, but I do think it looks really nice. The color scheme itself is really great with the purple and the dark blue. It's not a color scheme we've got a lot from Ninjago, and I really, really like it. The head underneath the mask, while completely useless, it does work, you know? It looks good. They've got dual-sided head. One of them is for when they've been hit with the Gong of Shattering, but who cares about that? The real thing is the mask here. Now, I don't currently own any of these Wolf Mask Warriors, so I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this mold. I think it looks really great. It looks exactly like it does in the show, and it's a cool little combatant for Cole to fight. However, I do think that in this set, if this one single warrior is going up against this mech, he ain't gonna win. Now let's talk build real quick, which means we can get rid of this Wolf Mask Warrior because he doesn't come with any side builds. So it's just this big old mech. Now, when I first saw it and when I see it in the show, I actually think the design's really nice. I think the color palette is lovely. I think the weapon is cool, and I like the way that Cole can sit in here. I think it just looks quite appealing. But the build itself, I do have a couple of issues with. Now, I like that articulation-wise, the shoulders and the hips are on ball joints. It does give a bit of maneuverability, and it's the same with the ankles. At least this ankle, unlike the Kai mech that we'll see soon, can actually support it on the ankles and it actually has a bit of mobility. The real problem that this mech has is these joints. Now, LEGO came out with a set a few years ago on the Legacy line called Jay's Electro Mech, and I believe it was a 4+ set, and everyone was in outrage because it was awful. It was literally like the worst set ever. It came with about 5 pieces that make a mech, right? And since then, they've kind of gone down the same route. There is no longer elbow or knee articulation, and I really think it limits the sets. Now, this set is aesthetically pleasing. Don't get me wrong; it looks nice. I like all of the cool earthy things we've got going on the wrists here. But I'd rather have a bit of an uglier wrist in order to have this elbow joint. It really infuriates me. These pieces here that we see on the kneecaps, these like right angle pieces, are just the bane of my existence. It really limits posability, and it limits the build as well. When I'm building it, I don't have to do anything complicated. I'm literally just clicking things together, and it just ruins it for me a little bit. But that's the biggest downside of this mech. He's short and stumpy, but I quite like that. A, for the price, and B, because it's coal, he's earth, he's down to the ground. I like that a lot. No thumbs, which I always think is a little bit weird. And the mallet is cool. It just clips on to the bottom of his hand like it does in every mech nowadays. And the mallet is just a very simple build, yet rather effective. Okay. For the minifigures, see, he's just fallen down. He's just fallen down there because there is no great posability. I suppose I could give him like a Gandalf stick pose. There we go. Okay, so for the minifigures, I'm going to give it, for this set, a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. A 5 out of 10. Because I love the Wolf Mask Warrior, but the Ninja really falls short. Plus, there's only 2 minifigures, so it falls short a little bit. Build-wise, I like the colors. I hate the articulation. I'm going to give it... Can I give it a 6? I'll give it... No, I'm going to give it a 5 as well. And then for the price... Now, this set, I think, is beautifully priced. I think it's wonderfully priced. Something that LEGO have done recently is they've started bringing out these more affordable sets for the scale. They're not outlandish like the rest of LEGO these days. This set retails around $17.99 in the UK, which is really great. I think that's perfectly priced for this set. So I'm going to give that a solid 5 out of 5 for that. So the scores for this set will be up on the screen now. Let's have a look at our next one. Next up, we have Kai's Elemental Fire Mech, which is a big step up from Cole's, and not even that big of a step up in the price. It comes with 4 minifigures, 2 ninja, 2 villains. It comes with 2 mechs this time, and honestly, I prefer the look of Kai's mech already. And the beautiful thing about these, which we'll get into once we've actually done our review of this set, is that they've got a new play feature in that they can combine the mechs. So we're going to have a quick look as well at what we can do with these two. And here we have Kai's Elemental Fire Mech. This build was, I'd say, a bit more engaging than the last one. Granted, I was watching Dragon's Rising as I was building it, so maybe that's why I was so locked in. But I really, really liked it. We're going to start with the minifigures this time. We'll just switch it all up a little bit. This set, as I said, came with 4 minifigures, 2 villains, 2 heroes. Now, the 2 ninja that we get are Kai and Zane. Love them. Way better than Cole. Way better. I think Zane might be the best looking out of all the ninja in this outfit. I think it looks really nice. I like that they're incorporating more pale blue into Zane's stuff in the recent suits. I really like it. I think the colors are great. It's basically the same as my review for Cole's one, except that I'm not complaining. Randomly, this Zane has a scabbard, which none of the rest of them do, but that's really nice. Isn't that like nice pearl gold there? The head does obviously have that backwards ninja version, but as I said, I don't like it that much. Looking at these guys, I do think that the writing on the back in Ninjago actually does mean their names, which I really, really like. That's a good bonus. Zane looks fantastic. Kai looks great as well. I'm not a huge fan of the yellow sash around his belt. I don't know if they're going for gold there, but the yellow sash is just okay. It seems a bit out of place. Yeah, but other than that, I really like it. I think he looks great. I love these suits. I love how simple they are. They're just kind of classic ninja suits. We get another one of those Wolf Mask Warriors. I really like it. And then we get Jordana, which is really nice. It's nice of them to be putting like a bigger villain like this in one of these smaller sets. I really like that. And it's a decent figure as well. I'm not like the world's biggest fan of Jordana in the show, but I think she's really cool. I like the figure. I like that we're getting a villain, and it adds a bit of variety. And the torso print is absolutely lovely with that little wolf dragon thing. Now let's get on to the mech, and we'll start with this thing. It is abundantly clear that they needed to fill out a piece count to make it a 25 quid set or whatever it is. It's abundantly clear that they needed to add something. I would have probably just said do a side build instead of a mech. But, you know, why are the arms so long? I look at the claws, they're just... I don't like this. Whatever's going on with these arms here, they should have just, like... Hang on, let's see what we can do here. Because we might be able to just... Let's see what it looks like if we just... Because even that looks a little bit better, right? Just with the claw on there. But yeah, they've clearly just tried to up the piece count. It's atrocious. It's terrible. I really don't like it. The color palette's cool, but that's about all the good I can say about it. No articulation. It's clunky. It's awful. I don't know what this leg assembly is doing. And it just... Yeah, no. No, that's terrible. That's absolutely awful. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for this, which is the opposite of awful. It's really, really great. I love this. I definitely prefer it to Cole's, just in height and just in like color scheme and accessories and all that sort of stuff. Kai sits in there just lovely. I'm not going to go over articulation again because it's pretty much exactly the same as I said last time. But I just think because he's bigger, he's beefier, there's a lot more going on. I think I can forego it a little bit more. The one thing I will complain about is this random gold bar here really hinders you. Like, you just can't move that there. So it means that it really hinders him on the feet positioning. It's a bit of a problem. And I didn't really notice this too much on the back of Cole's, but it's just a lot of nothing in the back here, which is kind of annoying. But to be fair, you're posing him from the front. I'd never look at the back anyway. And one thing I'm loving about these mechs is the shoulder pads are... You don't have to do anything. When you move your arms, they correct themselves. So they correct themselves. You're never going to be hindered by these shoulder pads, which is really nice. I way prefer the way the legs work in this one, with these sort of like panels that you flip up to create the knee joints. The other ones, it's just these same pieces, but you're just kind of sliding them on, which I don't particularly like. Fingers are way better. He's actually got fingers this time instead of the one with Cole's. The fire effects I thought were going to be a bit much, but I really like them. They add a lot of character to the mech, and they really mesh with the color scheme. Speaking of the color scheme, it's a beautiful choice of red. I love that we've used gold as well. And just like in the last one, there's no stickers, which is fantastic. We've just got this one little printed tile, which looks great. It's that's the thing that they wear on their backs. And this sword is a lovely build as well. I really like this. We've got a lot going on, but I like that they've gone for this other sword to give it a bit of curvature. I think it's a nice little technique, and it really brings it all together. This build is lovely. This build, I'd say, is like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I really like that. I think it looks really, really good. The minifigures for variety, ninja suits, and just the overall number we get of them, I couldn't give this anywhere less than an 8. I think the figures look really great, and Jordana and stuff is a really nice addition as well. The price is about 25 quid, which I think is really, really good, just like the last one, if not better. I mean, you're getting 4 minifigures, 2 of the main ninja, 1 of the main villains, and you're getting 2 mechs. Granted, this is terrible, but you are getting 2 mechs. I can understand why a child, like a younger child, would love this, and I can understand why someone like me would love this. I mean, it's meaty, this looks really great. It's going to go great on the shelf. So yeah, those are some really solid scores for these guys, which I am really enjoying. Let's do a little comparison real quick of some other mechs of this scale. So this is Kai and this is Cole's. They look great together. They're a great little duo. Obviously Kai is the clear standout there, but they both look great. It really matches the same energy. This is the scuba mech from Seabound, which had Lloyd in it, but obviously Nia uses more in the show. This is covered in dust because this has been on my shelf for ages. They're a similar scale, varying build quality. This one has even worse articulation, and it's a bit spindly. So I would say that this clears this any day. I think this is way better. And then the last mech we'll take a look at in comparison, which is worse articulation, is the Evo mech from the Zane core set, which I think is probably more representative of this level of mech. Naturally, this one clears this one, because this might be the worst LEGO thing I own, but still not great. But overall, some wonderful mechs. I'm really pleased with these two. The scores for both will be on the screen right now. Okay, so the next set we're going to take a look at is the Mask Shadow Dojo. And here we have the Mask Shadow Dojo. My mind is blown. It is so cool. Such a great build. Really encapsulates what we see in the show. And the minifigure selection is unbelievable. I'm going to quickly just go through the minifigures right now. Okay, so this set comes with 4 of the ninja in their climber gear. Zane, Kai, Nia, and Lloyd. All of the kind of main ones from this season. Obviously, it doesn't have Cole, and Jay doesn't really have one of these in canon. So for only missing out one of the key ninja, that's really great at a set at this price point. It also comes with like all of the major villains from season 2. We've got Jordana, Cinder, the Master of Smoke, and Raz. That's really great. It also comes with a Mask Shadow Warrior, which is just awesome. It's really full of some really great minifigures. Such great value for a set like this. Now, the build itself is actually unreal. Such a beautiful set. I love when Ninjago give us like relatively affordable temples. So, you know, not the Ejitsu temple or the massive Ninjago gardens, which I've got up there, which are all really high price points. This retails for about £80. Which, don't get me wrong, it's not cheap, but it's good for what we're getting here. I've noticed that a lot with Ninjago. As I said with the other mechs, recently we've got some pretty good price points for what we're getting in the actual builds. Now, it comes with a few main areas. We've got this little dojo combat section here with these really nice little transparent pieces so that we can get them to sort of like fight by themselves so they can kind of jump around, which I think is a really cool little mechanic. And it's a really lovely build as well. We're using a lot of these really nice pinkish purple elements throughout this set, which I don't have a great deal of. So it's really nice to get all of these in this set, and they really make it pop. Now, so that's that section of the build. Now, the main portion, as you can see, is this huge temple here, which is really nice. We've got these two, I'll just turn the set around real quick for you. We've got these 2 sort of stone pillars, which are really nice. Not a lot going on down here, which is a bit of empty space, but that's okay, because when you're looking at it from the front, which is how everyone displays it, you'll see you've got this massive, beautiful wolf head, which looks really cool. Such an interesting build as well. It turns out in a very different way. You kind of build it upside down, and it's really cool the way they do that. They've also got this sort of mechanism here where you can sort of let this like boulder fall out and attack people there. And obviously another thing that's hiding this big negative space is the Gong of Shattering, which is really cool to have in this set. Obviously it's a very key point in season 2 of Ninjago Dragons Rising. You've got that really cool gong piece as well as just a giant build around it, which utilizes one of the original spinner crowns, which I thought was a really cool nod to previous Ninjago sets. They've got 2 portions off to the side. We've got this sort of like weapons rack here next to this, what kind of looks like an evil cherry blossom. I don't know if that makes any sense. And then over here, we've just got another one of those trees, and each one of them has like a little walkway that leads to the main temple. Now, the temple itself, the facade on the outside looks lovely. I love all of these like fangs that are coming off the side of the temple. It makes it really ornate and beautiful. And besides this wolf head here, we've got a nice little balcony section which can hold a couple of minifigures. Throughout this set, we've got a lot of these 2x2 circular plates with a stud on top, which allows for minifigures to stand in specific locations on the set so that you can pose it however you like. We've got a few of those on this balcony here, as well as some like faux benches and stuff like that. And then these sort of these like paper doors here, which is really cool. There's a lot of empty space here, and I get that they couldn't really build a doorway there because it would just take up too much space for the minifigure scale. But it does seem a little bit empty, but I am glad that they added a play feature. So I'm going to turn this around here. On the front of the set, there is a small branch that you can turn, and then a trapdoor falls down, which is really nice. I like that they added a little play feature. Would I have preferred maybe a door to hide that negative space? Maybe, but the play feature is nice, and it's good that this set is incorporating ways to play, because I feel like LEGO has moved away from playing in these past few years. Now, I must say there's a few things that I'm not a huge fan of on this set, and our main focus is these smaller elements that just feel really loose. Now, these little flames here, they're lovely little builds, and they make it look really ornate, but they just slide right off. I have had, maybe it's just mine and the particular pieces that I've got, but they're just so loose. They just come off straight away. So you can't really mess around with them too much. And it's the same for these lanterns on the back. I found that they can be really loose at times and they fall apart quite easily. But speaking around the stuff on the back, we've got these lovely two little benches here, one with like a sword and a flame and stuff like that, and one with like a teacup and stuff, which looks really nice. Just it makes it a bit more homely and makes it a bit more realistic. And then on the sides here, we've got two stickers, which this set doesn't have too many stickers, but the ones that there are really nice. But I personally love these the most. They're like almost like prophesied pieces of art of like the wolf masks and stuff, which I think looks really, really cool. I really like that. Speaking of stickers, up here we have some Ninjago that I actually haven't translated. So if you know Ninjago, feel free to comment down below what that tells me, because that would be really cool to find out. Now it does come with two sort of ornate weapons, and this is what confused me a little bit. We've got this spear thing here, which I don't actually remember being in the show. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that's like pride and place. You look in the front way there, you can just see this spear coming out of nowhere, and it uses a really cool piece. I just wanted to point out this fang on the top. I've never really seen a piece in this color before, but a lot of this set uses like a bone color, which is really nice. But anyway, what I was saying was the weapon that's in pride and place is this random spear, whereas it does come with Raz's hammer that is like the dragon, the source dragon totem or token or whatever it is. So it does come with that hammer so that you can hit the gong of shattering and, you know, shatter people's goodness. But weirdly, this is like not in pride of place. This is clipped on the top, and I know it's because you can't really stand it up because of that fang piece on the bottom, but I think it's a bit of a strange thing to do. I think they could have found a nice way to include that, but alas, it's still there. I just think that this spear is a little bit of a weird addition. Right at the top of the set, the final thing I want to talk about is this is the blood moon. It does look a little bit weird because it's just like a circular tile. I know that what they're trying to go for like a scaling thing, so that when you look at it you see the blood moon on top of it. I don't think it's necessarily important to the set. You could get rid of it if you wanted to. It literally just clips right off the back, you can take it off, and the set looks really great without it. But just because I like to have all of my sets on my shelf as accurate as I can, I am going to keep it plugged in to my set. Overall, this set is brilliant. Let's go with our scores. So the price point is about £80, which isn't too bad to be fair. I know it's on the more expensive side, but for the price, you're getting some great minifigures, a beautiful build. It's a really nice centerpiece to any display, especially if you're collecting a lot of the Dragon's Rising stuff. And if you've got any other temples, it really goes well next to them. I mean, behind me, I've got the Temple of the Crystal King, which is a similar color scheme. So those two will probably sit really nice together on the shelf. Minifigures wise, I could not be more positive about it. I mean, you're getting 8 minifigures in this set, which is already a lot of minifigures, but the minifigures you are getting are outstanding. You get nearly a full roster of the ninja in their climber suits, as well as all of the villains from season 2. That is a brilliant roster of minifigures for a set this size. I could definitely see that happening in something like a Ninjago City Gardens or something like that, but this is amazing. I was really, really shocked by how good the minifigures are. And finally, build quality. It's just wonderful. I'm gonna give price a 7 out of 10, minifigures a 10 out of 10, and build quality will give it a solid 8 out of 10. This is a fantastic set, and if you have the means, I do highly recommend picking one up. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. Right, this video is titled, Is Ninjago Dead in 2025? And that is a question that I really wanted to answer. Off these 3 sets, and off the show, because I have really enjoyed Dragon's Rising Season 2, I think we're back. You know, I think Ninjago is at a place where it's doing really well. The prices, they seem to recognize what their audience is. The minifigures are starting to pick up again. I wasn't a fan of some of the suits, like the Prime Empire suits and stuff. I wasn't a huge fan, but I actually thought I'd hate the climber suits, but they're actually really nice in person. They're adding a lot of detail. It feels like they're adding a lot of heart back into these sets, and I really, really appreciate that. I think Ninjago is definitely back in 2025. It's not dead. We've got a lot more great things to come. The show is really picking up as well. Dragon's Rising is a big hit. I know it's huge at the minute. I think at the time of recording, all Ninjago and LEGO stores has got 2 times points and stuff like that. They're really pushing the Ninjago love at the minute, and I am super thankful for that. These sets are brilliant, and I definitely want to pick up the rest of the Dragon's Rising wave. Let me know in the comments what you think of these sets and what you think of Dragon's Rising at the minute, and while you're down there, you might as well subscribe. At the time of recording, we haven't hit 1,000 subscribers yet, but we are so close, and it would be much appreciated if you could just hit that little red button and just make this little LEGO YouTuber's dreams come true. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time.